Hello, this lecture is about creating a database and table of content which used to collect employees' detail. Then we will use it to create a basic C#. Open the server, SSMS. Then I'll log in with SQL Server authentication mode. Put in user ID and password and connect. In order to create a database, go to Database folder under the Object Explorer window. Right-click at the database. Select New Database. Now, I'm creating database to store employees' details. Name as employee. For the options part, I will not select collection. I will not specify the fonts. You can use whichever fonts you have used before. There are so many fonts you can select. Now, I'm using default. I will not set the font. Click OK. Hit refresh by right-click at database. Expand it. Then you'll see the name of your new database. Let's see if I can change the name. Right-click and select Rename. Now I want to change the name of my database. I change the name to Employee Database. Then refresh again. I changed the name here to avoid the confusion with the name in the table. I added the database in the end so I will know that it is the database. Once we created the database, there are many subfolders. Depends on the details you want to store. The first content we want to store is general information, name, address, telephone number, sex. Go to the subfolder named Tables. Right-click and select New Table. Name the column. First column is Auto ID. If you don't have many information to store, you can select int in data type. Right-click in front of column name. Then set primary key. Because we want this column to be primary. Then go to column properties below. You can expand the window by making the double-headed arrow. Hold the cursor and expand. I will change identity specification. I will change here. Below, you see identity increment. Change it to 1. I'm not recommending any other changes. Just change, is identity, to yes. That's it. Shorten the window now. Now we have one column named, Auto ID. Apart from Auto ID, I will store, names, surnames, emails, positions, telephone numbers and departments. I urge you to not store too much information inside the database. Because it will take you a long time to develop. You might get discouraged. In the beginning, you can have 4 to 5 columns. Next, we will create next column. First name to store first names. Data type, nvarchar. If the first name is long, you can set it to 25. If the first name is too long, the program will show error. And you will have to make change here. We are not using long name now. Next column is, last name. Same here. Set the length as same as first name. 25 characters. Next column is, emails. You can copy and paste from the top by using, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. You can set character length to 30. Next column is, job title, or position. Let's set character length to 30. You can make change later. Next column is, phone. Character length is 30 as well. If your employee has more than one phone number, you might have to set character length longer. I'm setting the character length to 30, just to show you an example. When you store your employee information, you have to see what fits for you. Let's review the columns. First is, Auto ID, which is primary key. First name, last name, emails, job title, phone. Last column will be linked to department, which I will teach you later on. Create column named Department ID. Set data type to int. In the beginning, you can check allow nulls. Only 2 columns cannot be allow nulls. First name and last name. Then save by using Save All, or right-click at the Table tab. Select Save. Name it as Employees, or you can use Employee TBL, but I will use this name. It's easy to understand, I'm not using any abbreviation. Just plain English, Employees. Now we have ourselves Employee Table. Close it. Refresh Table. Expand the table by clicking the plus. You'll see Employee Table. If you want to make change or set new, right-click and select Design. It will show you the table you have just created. For example, your employee has many phone numbers, you can set the character length to 50. Then save by using Save All. You will see the notification window pop up. Close it. Go to Tools, and select Options. Go to Designers. On your right, you see, Prevent saving changes that require table recreation. Unclick the box. So, when you make any changes to your table, it will not show the notification pop up. Go back to your table and try saving again. Now you can make changes, and save. Let recap one more time. Go to Tools and select Options. Select Designers on your left-hand side. Unclick Prevent saving changes that require table recreation. Then click OK. I will finish this lecture here. We will create another table in the next lecture. Thank you so much. In this lecture, I will show you how to create another table. The table that will link to Employee Table. This table will store department details. Start by creating new table. Name the first column as Department ID. Set data type to int. Then set as primary key. Same as before, is identity, select yes. Now we have Department ID as primary key. Next is name of the department. I will entitle as Department Name. Set and varchar 50. Create another column as remarks. Entitle as Notes. Set and varchar 255. You can add more information, this is only an example. Save and entitle as Departments. Close it. Go to the table and refresh. Then you will see the tables of employees and departments. If you want to make changes, right-click at the table and select Design. Then you can make any changes. Next, I will show you how to create a relationship between these two tables. For Employees table, right-click and select Top 1000 row. You will see the column of Department ID. This column will store numbers. We will link the Department ID column in the Employees table with the Departments table by linking with Department ID. Inside the Employees table, we call this foreign key, or FK. Inside the Departments table, we call this primary key, or PK. We will link these two columns to create relationship between these two tables. It will show the department of the employees, or it can show the numbers of employee under each department. So we need to create relationship, close them down first. Right-click Database Diagram. Select New Database Diagram. Click Yes on the notification window. Now you see two tables. Double-click each table. This is not complicated. You can array the table by click and drag the table anywhere. Let me arrange the tables. Adjust the size of the tables. Next, click the primary key. Click Department ID on Departments table. And drag to Department ID on Employees table, like this. I will close this for now, I'll show you again. Click and hold Department ID on Departments table. And drag to Department ID on Employees table. You will see the line. The program is now creating relationship named FK _employees _departments. You don't have to set any value, SSMS will automatically adjust it. Which table has the primary key? The primary key is inside Departments table. You can choose column under Department ID. You can only select primary key. Next, we will link with foreign key. Foreign key is an Employees table. Select column, Department ID. Click OK. You can expand the window. Next, click Tables and Column Specification. Expand. You will see the previous set of value. Foreign key base table is Employees. Foreign key column is Department ID. Primary key table is Departments. Primary key column is Department ID. After checking values, click OK. You can see the relationship line. You can move the line by using double head arrow. Drag the line to the column. Then save database diagram. Right-click at the top table tab. And save. And title and enter. You will see the notification window showing changes in relationship. Click Yes. If you want to change the relationship, I close the relationship window first. Click Refresh at Database Diagram. Click plus to expand. You will see the name of your diagram. Double-click and it will show the relationship window. If you want to make changes, right-click on the relationship line, select Properties. The Properties window will pop up on your right-hand side, then you can make any changes here. That's it for this lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you so much. This lecture will show you how to add information on the table, which will be used as an example for writing a program. Now we have database and table, but we don't have employee information, nor department information. We have to add these information. Go to Employee Database. Click plus to expand. Go to Table. I will start with Departments. Right-click and select Edit Top 200 Rows. Design is for Update the table. Select is for showing information. Edit is for adding and changing information. Expand the column for better view. ID is automatic filled, we don't need to put in any information. We only need to put in the column of department name and notes. Move your cursor to department name. Type in the name of department. First department is IT, type in IT department. Put in remark in notes, for example, IT department. Now I will copy IT department, and paste in other column. Press enter after type in to update the information. Now we have 5 departments, R&D, accounting, marketing, HR, and IT. Also put in notes. Now we have department table. Initial data should not be much. For this example, I will create only initial data. Then go to Employees table, and click Edit. Same as before, do not put any data into Auto ID. Put information in first name, last name, email, job title, and phone. Put your name for example, type the information in. If you see any error notification, just close it down. Press Escape to close it. This notification is showing, cannot insert value into. Go back to the table and look at primary key. Design. Primary key. I see, this has to be, yes. There might be some mistakes during the table creating, now I'm showing you why it is error. Yes. Refresh the table. Edit the data again. I'll try hit enter now. We need to put in the last name as well. Enter. OK now. The error occurred because there are 2 data we need to put in. Tanin and Sangam. Other parts can be left as null, the program will not show error. Now we will put in department ID. Let me adjust the table. I will put an unlisted ID into the department ID. For example, 6, and press enter. Now you're seeing the error notification, because the program does not have this department ID listed. Let's go back to Departments table. Click Select. There are ID listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, we can only set value between 1 to 5. Now I put in 5 and press enter. It works. 6 doesn't work, it doesn't list it in the department value. Like this. This is the benefit of relationship. It helps verify the correct data input. When I put in 6, it doesn't refer to any of the value in the department ID. This is why I show you how to create a relationship between tables. You can make up some information here. Copy at the top table tab, and paste. Then you can edit any data. You don't have to type in new information all the time. Just copy, paste, and edit information. OK. Now, right-click to close all documents. Refresh the table. Go to Employees table. Right-click to select. Now you have initial data to write C# or Visual Basic. This is not specified for one language only. OK. I finish my lecture here. See you in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Hello. In this lecture, I will teach you how to create view for SQL Server. View is query. Instead of creating orders, we can use view. For example, we are creating join data, you will need to write join order. Inner join, right join, left join. If we create view, we can choose order from view. No need to write long order. Go to databases. Go to employee database. Go to tables. Now we have two tables, departments and employees. Right-click on employees, and select. Now, look at department ID value. You will see only numbers. If you want to convert these numbers into text, you will need to join data with department table. Just like I taught you in the previous lecture. We can use inner join here, but the order will be long. We have a way to manage long order. Sometimes, we don't want to write the same query again and again. We can create view to use. Right-click and select New View. Choose the table you want to create view. Double-clicks on Employees and Departments. You will see the data is joining. Inner join appear in the below window. We learned about this order in the previous lecture. Now, I will teach you an easy way. Just like Wizard. For example, I want to use all column in the Employees table. Select all columns and drag down. Program will create order. Select all from Employees. Next, we will pull department name from Departments table. Look at Select in below window. It will show that department name has been added. And inner join. How do we see result after join? Right-click on empty space. Select Execute. Now you will see the department names after department ID. Value 5 is R&D. 4 is accounting. 3 is marketing, etc. This is an easy way. When you write a program, you can utilize view. Right now at the top of table tap, and click Save. Entitle, View, Employees, Department. Close the tab. Refresh view. Then right-click and select. You can see the orders are shorter than creating inner join. When you write a program, just select the name of view. You can also select all, then from view. The order is very short. Or just like this. Execute. This show how easy it is using view. When you write a program, you can write it like this. But you will have employees data and department name. Close it now. If you want to make changes, refresh view and right-click to design. Then you can choose any data you want. You can also expand the window. For example, I don't want ID. Right-click on ID and delete. Right-click to execute. Now the data is more beautiful, it no longer shows department ID. It shows only department name now. If we want notes to be added, just click on Notes. Then right-click to execute. Now you see that Notes is added. If you don't want notes anymore, just right-click to delete. Check your data and try execute one more time. Then right-click to save. Close the window. Click on New Query. Type in Select All from. Then copy the name and paste. Execute. I have to copy and paste the order, it's not automatically generated. Let's try shorten the name. Right-click to rename. Entitle, view _ empty pt. Copy the order, just in case. Open new query. Select all from, and paste. View _ empty pt. Execute. When you are writing in C# or Visual Basic, and you want employees' data and department name, you can use this order. Select all from view _ empty pt. This is very easy. The benefit of using view. Don't forget to save. Save the order. This lecture is finished. See you in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Hello. This lecture will show you how to manage SQL Server database by using Visual Studio 2019. First, open Visual Studio. Click Continue without code. Then I will link database to show in the Server Explorer. If you don't have the Server Explorer window when start the program, go to View. Select Server Explorer. If it is hidden, show it. Go to View. Select Server Explorer. Then we will link with the database. First, you need to know your server name. Go back to SQL Server. Right-click and select Properties. The server name is on the right-hand side, or you can use localhost. Go to Visual Studio. Click Connect to Database. Or right-click on Data Connection. Select Add Connection. If you want to create new database, click Create New SQL Server Database. Now, I will focus on the database which we created before. To display on Visual Studio, right-click on Data Connection. Then select Add Connection. Make sure that data source is showing Microsoft SQL Server. If not, click Change. Then select Microsoft SQL Server. Click OK. Server name, I show you before, MSI. Select Mode as SQL Server. Fill in username and password. If you want these to auto-filled, click Save My Password. Click Test Connection to see if the connection is successful. Once the connection is installed, it will show Database. Select the database to use. Now we are using Employees Database. Click Test Connection again. The connection is completed. Go back to SQL Server. We use this database, Employees Database. Why do we create a connection? Because we don't want to switch between two programs, which will confuse us. Now the database is shown in the Server Explorer. I will change the server name to and \. It works. Can I entitle localhost? Test connection. It works. I just wanted to show you as example. But the server name is actually MSI. Let recap. Right-click to Properties. Use the server name, as it is show. To avoid confusion, click Save Password here. You won't need to fill in password for next time. Click OK. You'll see Employees Database displaying on the Server Explorer. Click Refresh at Data Connection. Click Expand to see if all the table are there. You see there are 2 tables that we created. If you want to see the data, right-click on the table and select Show Table Data. Now you see data on the SQL Server is now showing on Visual Studio. I will pin on the Server Explorer window. Let's see Department Table. Click Show Table Data. You see there are 5 departments that we created. You can make change to the data here. Let me show you an example. I will use Employees Table. Right-click and select Show Table Data. I will change Tanin 5, 2, Tanin 555, and Tanin 4, 2, Tanin 444. Refresh the table. Go back to SQL Server. Refresh the database. Go to Tables and select Employees Data. You will see Tanin 444 and Tanin 555 because the data is updated to here. The method is to reduce confusion from switching between 2 programs, SQL Server and Visual Studio. We can pull the data to Visual Studio. This is just an example to see the updated data is linked. Next example, we can change table structure. I will change the column name. Right-click on Employees Table. Select Open Table Definition. It will take a while. Then it will show Script T-SQL, or Transact SQL. I will change the name of column. From phone to phone number. After making change, click Update Database. There is an error occur. Let read to see what went wrong. We have created view and the data is linked to view. Let go to view. Hit refresh. See? We have created view. We will delete it for now. Delete and refresh. Go back to Update Database. Click Update. Now it doesn't show any errors. Click Update Database. At the bottom, it shows Update completed. Go back to SQL Server to see if the column name is changed. Hit refresh. Right-click and select Design. You will see the column name as phone number. It changed from phone to phone number. This is just an example showing that you can make changes on Visual Studio. But I don't recommend. You should not change the table after being created. It might affect linked data, which errors will occur. This shows that making changes like this can lead to errors. It affected view because the column was changed. Now I will unchange it. Phone. Go to Visual Studio to see if it updated. Hit refresh. Right-click to show table data. Phone is now display here. This lecture shows how to connect database from SQL Server to display on the Server Explorer in Visual Studio. That is it for this lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Hello. This lecture, I will teach you how to connect C# application to SQL Server database using Windows Forms application with ADO.NET. In this example, I will create a new C# project. I'm using Windows Forms app, .NET Framework. Entitled project name is Employee Management. Click Create. For this part, let's expand the Forms window a bit. Click Save All. On your right-hand side, click to show Solution Explorer and Properties window. The Solution Explorer window on top, and the Properties window on the bottom. On your left-hand side is the Server Explorer window. If this window is hidden, click View and select Server Explorer. Now I will create a class to be a center to connect to SQL Server database, and will be used for CRUD operations. You can add, retrieve, update, and delete data. I will write it all in this class. Right-click on the project name. Select Add. Select New Item or Class. For 2019 version, you can select Class here. Give it a short name, DB. File format is .cs for C#. Click Add. I would like to add a remark here. When you're working on database, you'll need to add namespace for database management. If you're using Access Database, this will have a different name, as well as SQL Server. Different name for MySQL database also. In this lecture, we will use SQL Server database as our main focus. So, add namespace for SQL Server. Type in using to import data. Using system.data.sql client. This is specifically for SQL Server. Finish the command with semicolon. Then I'll apply another command to display dialog boxes. Using system.windows.forms. This will allow me to input message box. Apply a command under class DB. Inside the curly brackets, I will shrink using commands, so we will have more space here. First of all, we need SQL connection class. Use instant here. Type in public modifier, followed by the static keyword, and followed by a class name. Class name is SQL connection. The instant name will be con for SQL connection equals new SQL connection. Put in connection string in the brackets. I'll put empty string for now. For this part, you can shrink other windows down to create more space. Now you'll see the codes clearly. Enlarge the fonts by hit, Control, and scroll mouse. The codes are now very clear. Now, we have instant for SQL connection, which is con. I will set value for connection string. Connection string needs to be inside double quotes. It's very easy. In the previous lecture, we have linked database from SQL Server before. Open the Server Explorer window. You see the data connections. You see the linked database under data connections. Right-click, and select Properties. On your right-hand side, you will see the connection string. We will use this properties to link. Click on Connection String, and hit Ctrl-A. Then use Ctrl-C, or copy. Paste inside the double quotes. So, you don't have to Google about connection string. Change this to localhost. This depends on your server. Localhost is easy to remember. We will use employee database. Delete persist security info. Use ID equals SA. Use your password. Mine is easy. In the beginning, don't complicate the process. The actual password needs to be strong password. I use easy password for education purpose. Now, we have the connection. Instant named, con. And the connection string. I will use class for data management. One of the class is SQL command. Such as, insert, update, delete. Type, public static. SQL command. Give it a simple name. CMD. Equals new, SQL command. Set SQL command value as, empty string. Put in instant of SQL connection, con. What is this empty space for? It's for commands. Insert, update, delete. You can set the value once finish. Now, we have two instance. Con, and CMD. We need dataset to manage database into table. Public, static, dataset. If the dataset does not appear, type it in. It is because we have not applied namespace yet. Dataset. DS. Nothing displays. Then we need to import it. The program will notify you and suggest to import data. Click on Using System.data. It will appear here. Shrink the window. So, we have dataset to store data. Dataset cannot operate individually. It needs adapter to link with the database. So, we set the adapter here. Public, static. SQL data adapter. DA. In this course, we will use the binding Navigator control. In order to any records, input the binding source class. Public, static, binding source, BS. We will see this once we use the binding Navigator control. Next command. Public, static, string, SQL. This identify either data is select, insert, update, or delete. Later, we will put it here. These are class that we will use. Next, I will show you how to open and close the connection. Very simple. Public, static, void, open connection. Use this method to open the connection. Public, static, void, close connection. Use this method to close the connection. Put in comment, to do. Now, we will open the connection. Input try, and hit double tap. The program will automatically generate the try-catch block. The try block allows you to define a block of code to be tested for errors while it is being executed. The catch block is an exception handler block. To notify when the connection fails, use messagebox.show. You cannot type here if you have an import namespace. System.windows.forms. Messagebox.show. Connection failed. Follow by plus ex.message. There's an error here. Delete the brackets. This message is string, no need to use toString method. This will notify you when the connection fails. The try block is used for connection. Check if there is a connection. Put in if con.state equals connection state dot closed. If it's closed, open it. Con.open. We want to make sure when the connection is open. Copy and paste message box here. Add con.state.toString. Change quoted text to the connection is. So, this is for open connection. Copy to use for close connection method. Delete to do, and paste. Change the connection state value from closed to open. Change the connection method from open to close. Change the message box. Change quoted text to close connection error. Add open connection failed. So, we know which part of process the error occurs. Now, it is ready to be displayed. I will show you all the codes before moving on. These namespace are for importing the .NET classes. If you see namespace in gray, it means that the namespace is not used. You can delete them by right-click and remove unnecessary using commands. These are all we used. System. System.data.sql client. System.windows.forms. Then we created instant to manage database. Connection. Command. Dataset. Data adapter, and binding source. And we created connection method here. We copied command and pasted to use for close connection. After we test the connection, we will come back to edit message box. Now we leave it to see if the connection is completed. Go to Form 1. Display Solution Explorer and Properties window. Rename the form. Right-click, and rename to Employee Form. Press Enter. Click Yes on window notification. Go to program.cs. Double-click to see which form is the startup form. If you want to run another form, you can type in form name here. It's showing employee form as the default form for this program. Close it for now. Now, we are testing open and close connection by using the form load event. Double-click on form title. Copy class name, db. And paste here. Type, dot. You will see listed commands below. Now I'm using open connection method. Put in semicolon to end command. Then put in close connection method. Change form text here to employee form. Set start position to center screen. Now, start to run a program. Notification pops up. The connection is open. So, the connection is successful. Click OK. Now, the connection is closed. We set the command to open and close. I will try put in incorrect user ID and password. To see if error will occur. Test now. The program notify error message. Open connection failed. Login failed for user SA. There is an error logging in because I put in incorrect password. This is a basic knowledge for fixing error. Verify ID, password and database. Now, I will try incorrect database name. Test now. Error notification show. Cannot open database. But we know that we typed in incorrect database name. Try to read and understand error message notification. It shows where the error locate. Let's go back to correct database name. Test again. Everything is fine now. Now, we will close message box. We only use it for testing. Comment the message box code by put the double backslash and space in both open and close methods. Back to test again. The message box does not show anymore. Connection between C# and SQL database is now complete. That's it for this lecture. See you next time. Thank you very much. Hello. In this lecture, we will continue with designing form. After we have create a connection. Now, we will design form to look more beautiful. Open toolbox. Pin the toolbox. I will use the binding navigator first. I already used binding source class, now I am using the binding navigator control to hold data. Drag to the center. In properties window, it displays as binding navigator 1. Set properties value. Click Add New Item. Change to None. We will write our own codes. Scroll down to Delete Item. Change to none. Leave count item as it is. Scroll down to move item. Do not change. Move to the first item. Move to the last item. Move to the next item. Move to previous record. Position item is display position of the record. This item is for add data. And this is for delete data. We will add another button. For example, click on delete button. Copy and paste. Then change to update item. Next button is for refresh. Change name to refresh data. For beauty, I will use separator. To separate icons, you can drag the separator to wherever you want. See, the icons are now separated into groups. This icon is for adding new item. This icon is for deleting item. This icon is for updating item. Last icon is for refreshing data. Change the icon image to be more beautiful. Click on the icon first. Then go to Properties Image. Select Project Resource File. Import the image. I go to my storage space, which is Drive D. Select all files type. I'll use floppy disk image. You can use any images from websites. This image size is 32 by 32 pixel. Select the image and click OK. Now the icon image is changed. You can repeat this to change any icon image. Next, refresh data button. Repeat the same steps. Change the icon text accordingly. Next, move icon. Click on icon. Hold and drag to anywhere you like. I rearrange icons to add new item, save item, delete item, and refresh. That's it for binding Navigator 1. If you want to make changes, you can come back. This is the basic for now. Save. You can also change Forms icon. Go to Forms Properties. Click on icon. I will use this icon. The size is about 96. You can use any image you like. The changed icon will appear on the top. Next, add a status strip control. Click on it. You can also change icon image here. Go to Properties icon. I will add one more tool, strip status label. Change labels text to status. I will change the color. Click for color. Change to any color you like. I'll use crimson. You can also change the image for label. Click on label. Go to properties, and select image. Same as before. Select image, and click OK. The form is looking more beautiful. There are icon images in the status bar. One tip: the icons can display text. Click on icon. Select display style to image and text. You'll see text next to the icon display now. Repeat the steps with every icon. I only show you as an example. If you don't like the display, you can use only images. Hide the text by selecting Display Style to Image. You can also hide the image by selecting Display Style to Text. But I'll show both text and image. You can also change the color of text display. Change the text display color by selecting Color from For Color. Take your time choosing any color you like. Save. Let's test. I set my screen to display bigger text. Adjust the window and test again. It might take time to get perfect scale. If it doesn't work, restart the program. I save it in C# project. Under Employee Management. If you adjust the screen display, it might be difficult to get a perfect scale. Scaling on your main display is set to 250%. You can click here to restart at 100%. Let's try to set the scale to 100%. Click Restart Visual Studio at 100% scaling. You can see the scale is very small. Try again. Once I set the scale to 100%, it looks perfect now. It might not be as beautiful as you want. We can adjust again later. Okay. That's it for this lecture. See you in the next one. Thank you so much. Hello. We will continue designing form in this lecture. In the previous lecture, my display scaling was set to 250%. So, the display does not fit. Now I set my display scaling to 175%. You can change the scaling by right-click on Desktop. Select Display Settings. I adjusted to 175% instead of 250%. The text is now smaller. But it will show the correct scale for our design. It looks almost the same now. Now we will add controls starting by grouping. A group for text box. A group for data grid view. Maybe another group for data searching. You can use either group box or panel. I will teach how to use a group box in this lecture. Type in group box in the toolbox. and paste. I will create two group box now. Group box 1 and group box 2. Arrange the group box as you like. You can adjust group box background color. Go to Properties window. Scroll down to back color. I'll use powder blue. For the group box 2, I'll use light pink. Maybe pink is better. Adjust the space for control inputs. I'll change the text of group box 1 to employee info. This will include employee ID, names as we have created for employee database. Add a label control. Add a text box control. Expand the text box and copy. Just use Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. I'll make 6 copies. The first one is for auto ID. Second is first name. Third is last name. Fourth is email. Fifth is job title. The last one is phone. Make changes in the Properties window. Change text accordingly. After correcting Properties text, adjust text size. Entitle the text box controls according to your data usage. You don't need to change label Properties name. We will apply command to text box, so we need to give them the correct name. First one is Auto ID text box. Second is first name text box. Third is last name text box. Fourth is email text box. Fifth is job title text box. Last is phone text box. Set properties for auto ID to not allow change. Set read only as true. The user cannot make changes here. The ID will run automatically. You can delete Auto ID text box to avoid any user making changes. I put it here for your education purpose. Make sure you change the name for all text box controls. Next, I will arrange text box to look more beautiful. Test to see space between each text box. The first 3 text box are too close. Use Select All and arrow to adjust the space. That's okay for now. You can also move group box by Select All and pull down. The group box is close to the top edge. We need to pull down. Now you have the section employee data. We need department data. We will use combo box. Combo box will refer to ID. Because employee table and department table are linked by department ID. Copy, and paste. Change properties text to, department. Change the name of combo box to, division combo box, or department combo box. Move on to group box 2. Set text properties to employee list. This will show all employee when you select from data grid view. The data will display in employee info. It will display information of selected employee. Now, we are adding the data grid view. Click to hold, and drag here. Adjust the position. Look at the triangle on the top right corner. Click for options. Unclick, enable adding. Enable editing. Enable deleting. Set doc in parent container to enlarge the box to fit group box 2. Change background color. I'll use window color. Expand the form to see your design. If you want to expand data grid view, you have to expand group box 2. They will expand together. Set value for group box 2. Select anchor to all edges. Top, bottom, left, right. Expand the form again to see your design. Let me maximize the screen. You see data grid view is now expanded. Because we allow anchor for group box 2. Adjust the layouts as you like. So now, we have employee data and department data. I'm adding another group box. Copy group box 1, and paste underneath. Clear data for new group box. Change properties text to, advanced, search. To set value in searching. For example, search by ID, or search by department name. We will add a control called, radio button. Add to. Copy combo box from group box 1, and paste below. Change radio button 1 to, find by ID radio button. Set text properties to, find employee by ID only. So, you can only search by auto ID here. Radio button 2 will be changed to, find by division radio button. Set text value to, find employee by department. Change the name of combo box as well. Change to, find by division combo box. We are now working on group box 3. The third group box is for searching option. Click Start to see your design. You can choose only one radio button. Either to search by employee ID, or department name. We will need to put codes in for these controls. We have search option now. We need a text box to search information. Copy text box. Add a new button. Change name to, keyword text box. Change the button name to, search button. Set properties text value to, search. We can use an icon here. I'm using PNG image. Click OK. Change properties from overlay to image before text. Adjust the size as you like. You can also expand keyword text box. -20. Test to see your design. You can set size value by putting a number. Try 80. $70. Adjust till you see fit. Use the arrow to move position. This button is for searching. The data will display in the data grid view. And the employee data will display on group box 1. Maximize window to overview. Adjust as you see fit. This looks more professional when search button is added. Use image for the button to be user-friendly. Okay. This is all for this lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.